Hi guys, welcome back to another video. In today's video, I'm going to have some Division 20 online ranked gameplay from last season, and I'm going to be showcasing to you how Division 20 players actually play. So if you're someone that hasn't reached Division 20 yet and wants to see what the competition is like, then I'm going to show you two different fights here. The first one using Alistair Overeem, and this was of course when he was like prime Ubereem juice to the gills. And the second fight using Glover Teixeira, the former champion of the light heavyweight division. And yeah, you'll get a good gauge of how people actually play in Division 20, and you'll soon realise that there's no real skill involved. It's just abusing broken mechanics and trying their best to save their points and not, have an actual MMA fight. So yeah, I just thought I'd showcase this to anyone that is interested. And this is, you're going to have two polar opposites, which is what's cool about this gameplay here. You're going to have this guy, and then you're going to have the next guy, and you'll see they both have separate play styles, but both cheesy nonetheless. But before I get into breakdown the actual gameplay here, I just want to say a huge thank you to everyone that's been supporting the channel. As per usual, I think I'm on 323 subscribers at the time of recording, and I haven't been uploading nearly as much. I've got to try and get back into that habit. It's just been very busy with work and other things going on in my personal life, but definitely haven't forgot about this. Definitely love making videos and love getting feedback from you guys. So yeah, I just want to say thank you for all the support, and hope you guys enjoy this video also. Next videos I'm going to be working on is Habib and DC like showcase, because they got introduced into the Hall of Fame, so I thought that'd be a pretty cool video idea as I rock the Doom here. So look forward to that. I haven't played much of this division, so I'm going to probably be streaming that sometime next week, me ranking up. I think I'm only in division like 9, and obviously got a lot of divisions to go up until I get to division 20, so hopefully get some good gameplay on that stream. But yeah, jumping into the gameplay here, you can see that I've had a stun. This guy is using Doom, and we know that Dooms are very good when it comes to submissions, and you can see that he's abusing the knees, and this is just one of the most toxic ways to play it, and unfortunately it's extremely common, and it's very easy to lose to this type of player. I lose to them myself quite a few times, especially in that clinch, because it's a very 50-50 scenario. I mean, they're going to either go to the body or to the head. They can go for a takedown, or then they can go for the submission. So either way, you're not in the best position to deal with that. There's too much risk involved in that position, and especially someone against Doom that once he wraps your neck, it's going to be very hard to get out of that position. So you can see that in round 1 so far, I managed to stun Doom, and Doom's managed to drop me. And you can see that I'm being very patient here, waiting to get up. Obviously, when it comes to the stand-up, I am going to be at a huge advantage, but the way Doom's fighting, in the constant knee spamming, you can see really looking for that uppercut, it's making it a bit more difficult. And if that head kick land, if the round didn't finish there, that would have done a lot of damage. And yeah, this type of fighter you can't show any respect with, and you'll see that it just gets worse and worse from here. I think at the start of the second round here, he actually isn't playing, so I just fly knee him just to try and get him out of there, because I was not in the mood to play these games. You see, I start off with a leg kick, he's not there, flying knee, and then I think he comes back to life there. But these sorts of players I show no respect to, because the sad reality is it's not really going to put someone like myself off playing the game, because I really enjoy playing it. But if you're someone that's new and just wants to rank up, and you come up against this once or twice, you're never really going to want to play the game again. And I can really understand why, because this is not enjoyable whatsoever. And yeah, you've just got to be real patient when you fight someone like this. You know the clinches are coming, so you've just got to block, even clinch yourself, which is something that, looking back on this gameplay, I potentially should have done more. As you see, I sway out of the clinch attempt there. I'm using Overeem, who's got phenomenal knees in the clinch, got good elbows. It's something that I really could have looked to utilise, but I didn't want to clinch myself and get the position reversed, or just miss and then, get stunned as a result of it. But I've definitely got better with dealing with these sorts of players as the seasons have gone on. They've always given me problems, and I think they always will continue to give problems, just because it's a very hard style to come up against. I mean, unless you're the elite of the elite, someone like this well into the top 100, consistently plays the games, for instance someone like GOAT, then you know, maybe those players can deal with these guys at ease, but I think this style of fight is extremely difficult no matter what your skill level is, because it's just incredibly toxic and difficult to play against. And you'll see that a lot of the guys in the top 100 actually utilize this method and the next fighting method that you're going to see in the next gameplay. But you can see that having some success, obviously when it's on the feet, I'm definitely going to have the advantage, as I said before, because Alistair Overeem's of course got better stand up than Fabricio Verdum, and you can see how the position's reversed now. I'm starting to land the knees on my own, starting to get into the clinch now, and this is what you've got to do, unfortunately, when someone's looking to absolutely just cheese you. And as annoying as it is, it can sometimes deter them from their game plan. I mean, if the shoe was on the other foot, if I was coming up against an Overeem that was doing this, I definitely look to get the fight to the ground and deter them from being on the feet at all. But just because of how good Verdum is on the ground, it's a very, very dangerous task, getting him onto the ground, holding him down for 5 minutes without losing stamina and then getting potentially submitted. So I am very, very aware of this. It's very circumstantial. You've got to know which fight you're using, and although Overeem has good ground game, Verdum off his back is still a menace. So I'm being very cautious when I'm on the ground. You can see that right now I'm more than content to just trade some little punches, build up GA, and then eventually transition. I'm not looking to get denied, because then my stamina's going to go down and it will be a lot easier for Verdum to get these submission attempts. So I'm being very, very cautious, and that was a very, very good second round, considering we lost the first due to Verdum getting that knockdown from the clinch. But yeah, very good, very, very good second round there, and something that I'm hoping to build up upon on the third and fourth, because we managed to set the foundation, do a lot of good damage in that round, and hopefully I can look to exploit that damage here. And you can see that I go to the leg there and he instantly goes for the takedown. So in my mind now, it's pretty much that Verdum has accepted that on the feet Verdum's taken too much damage and it's not worth standing. It's not worth the risk. The risk to reward ratio isn't good enough, and if he takes the fight to the ground, he's got a higher chance of securing a finish. And even if Verdum doesn't get a finish, just ride me for that 5 rounds and hopefully ride me for the 5 minutes and over the next 3 rounds and hopefully get a decision victory. So I was very keen to see what my opponent was going to look to utilize on the ground, and you can see that staying patient is ultimately the best thing you can do, because as the more patient you are, the more frustrated your opponent's going to be, and it's going to create those little windows of opportunity to get up. And as you can see, we've got up there. As soon as I'm up, going to look to land significant strikes, because damage wins fights. So I'm now fully aware that Verdum is going to look to get the fight to the ground at all costs. So as long as I do a decent amount of significant strikes and damage whilst on the feet, as soon as the fight does get to the ground, because Verdum actually isn't throwing any ground and pound and he's just looking to transition and potentially get a submission finish, I should win. I should win that round anyway. But flying knee lands there, does a lot of damage, so it's 1 stun each at this moment in time. I do believe up until this point I have landed the more significant strikes in this round, so could put me in the pole position there. But if there isn't that big of a difference, plus Verdum's control time, I could be in danger. So that's something that I am keeping in mind of, I'm being wary of. And that flying knee was well timed from Verdum. As much as I don't want to give this guy any credit, it was a very well timed flying knee, and it did exactly what it needed to do. And Verdum's got the fight back onto the ground, which is going to be the comfort area. You can see just being very patient there. I tried to roll out. He instantly knew I was going to try to reverse the position, so that's just good fight IQ there from Verdum. Definitely should have tried to go into full guard, but you can see covering up very, very well there. It's going to be very difficult for Verdum to do any damage just because I'm covering up so well. Takes my back again. I'm more than adamant to jump because I knew I had the stamina advantage there, and we roll into Verdum's full guard. So a lot of it comes down to fight IQ and remaining very, very calm in situations where you're getting very pressured by your opponent and they resort into everything and anything. And at this point here, I knew that as stamina gets lower, it's going to be more and more detrimental to defend the transitions from Verdum and potentially stop any submission threats, because once Verdum locks in a submission, and he's got stamina advantage. It's going to be very, very hard to get out of that potential submission. And I know that every time we clinch, he's looking for the guillotine. So that's something that I'm going to be very, very wary of. You've got to understand the position you're in. Right now, putting up I'd say a fairly good fight. I'm not sure how that round would have been scored, but I know that in terms of damage done, the Doom's definitely worse for wear. And you can see he instantly goes for the takedown, which was just smart from Doom. I didn't expect it straight away. I was going to open up with a leg kick, which had I thrown it, definitely would have stopped that takedown attempt. And you can see the Doom's posturing up, but when Doom's posturing up, I'm not doing too much damage with the ground and pound, just because Doom knows doesn't want to get reversed. And one thing that I am in a good position here is the fact that I am against the cage, so I can reverse the position if need be. You can see I tried to get up from a different angle there. It unfortunately didn't work. And one thing that I've also done very well is stamina management. You can see that my stamina is in a very, very good position for the 4th round, I believe. So when we get back to the feet, if I really need to let off some combinations, I can do so without having to worry about my stamina being completely drained. Whereas Doom, I know right now, definitely doesn't have the health stats for this. And not only that, I know Doom's stamina isn't in the same position. So we've got stamina going for us and damage done going for us. And you can see he goes for the clinch, gets hit with the uppercut, and whilst Doom was hurt there, I tried to sneak in the roundhouse to the body just to drain that stamina a little bit more, because ultimately at this point I think that is what's going to win me the fight, is taking away that stamina. And just because Doom's already hurt at heavyweight, the punches just do so much power that it doesn't even need to be the cleanest punch in the world. Like when we was in the clinch there, it will just do enough damage to the point where Doom would get stunned, and then if I can get a knockdown off of that, that's the round secured. And that's exactly what I was looking to do. But Doom gets the fight back onto the ground here. And again, I'm not overly worried, just because my denials off my back are pretty good. Over him isn't the worst on the ground, and I do believe I have the stamina advantage. So here you can see, just being patient. I don't need to transition. He's the one that needs to move. I can just lay down, the ref will eventually stand us back up, and that is exactly what happened. So go for the crane kick there. I was trying to see if I could catch Doom out. And you can see when we are on the feet, I'm sort of leading the combinations. I'm trying to mix it up from probably 1-2s or 1-2-3 combinations without leaving myself too vulnerable. And yeah, the inevitable happens here where Doom goes for the clinch submission. And you can see I'm trying to be very patient here, moving very well. Doom's like submission offense here was absolutely terrible. I mean, that was the Hail Mary that Doom needed there. And I was thinking, hold on a minute, he's not going to have the head health here or the stamina. So I knew that if I postured up and landed some vicious ground and pound, that I could do a lot of damage. And if he does reverse me, there's not much time left on the clock. So you can see I posture up here, and I absolutely let off vicious ground and pound. And where Doom's had no head health, stamina level isn't there, and I had stamina to work with, I get the finish there. So that was one style of fighting. So that's going to be the clinch spammer, the clinch submission spammer, and here you've got the fake glove touch into the teep kick, and you're going to have an array of spinning attacks here. And this is going to be the harsh reality of not only Division 20 players, but this video in particular is going to show you why nobody, and I mean nobody, likes playing light heavyweight. Because when you come up against a John Jones, it's very rare you're going to come up against a John that isn't cheesy, isn't abusing the spinning elbows into the flying knees, into that weird helicopter kick, into the switch kick, and it's just constant. John Jones just really does feel like a cheat code, especially when you factor in how good his knees are from the clinch also. And obviously John Jones is probably the best fighter ever to grace the octagon, so it makes sense as to why he's so good in so many different positions. You really can't complain about that. You can only complain about how players utilise him, because when I come up against a good John Jones that mixes in everything, and if I lose, I'm more than happy to lose to that player, because they're mixing everything correctly. They're not looking to abuse any mechanics. I don't mind if they throw a spinning elbow every now and then, because that's how John is. John is a very creative striker, very unorthodox striking, and that's been key to his success over the many years he's fought within the UFC. But when you constantly look to abuse certain mechanics like that just to get easy knockdowns, that's when it starts to get a bit toxic. And that helicopter kick that you can throw at any range and somehow always lands, that one is the absolute worst kick in the game. If I ever spar anyone that just to, get better at the game, they start throwing stuff like that, and then instantly I know what type of player they are, because that kick, everybody knows, has been a problem since day one, because it disobeys the rules of physics. It just instantly lands onto your head no matter where you're at. But again, here comes the flying knee. When you're coming up against a Jon Jones player like this, you've just got to be extremely, extremely patient. And I know that I can take the fight to the ground with Glover Teixeira, because he's got phenomenal ground game. I know that when it comes to the boxing, I'm going to have a distinct advantage. As you can see, Jon Jones gets the takedown here and tries to transition into top mount. But you've just got to be really patient with players like this. As annoying as it's going to be, like the other fight was, this fight style is also very, very annoying. It's why a lot of people just do avoid, in general, playing the light heavyweight division, because Jon Jones is just going to be so, so good. And if you come up against the cheesy Jon Jones, you're not going to have a good time, let's just put it like this. So Jon's done a good job here of denying certain transitions and keeping himself on top. And you can see he tries to transition to side control. I'm fairly good off my back. I'm fairly comfortable in denying certain transitions, so I'm not too worried if Jon does get the takedown, because I can always look to get a submission or look to get a reversal. And as long as it's not on the feet where he's flying knees and spinning elbows 24/7, I'm actually in less danger being on the ground, although being on my back. But when we are back onto the feet here, starting for round 2, you can see that my stamina management's in a good place. Health-wise, my health stats aren't in the worst position. Good roundhouse to the body there from Jon. And when fighting Jon, you've got to work the legs and you've got to work the inside of the boxing. You've just got to be real careful with those elbows and knees, because when his elbows and knees land, they do a lot of damage. And you can see here just trying to rip through my block with the elbows. But I'm just going to stay patient, look to work Jon's leg and look to work the boxing on the inside. But that kick there, the spinning kick to the body and the helicopter kick to the head is extremely hard to deal with, because if you block low and it goes to the head, you're going to get rocked. So often or not, I let Jon go to the body just so that Jon isn't going to the head and potentially getting an easy rock. So I'm sacrificing my body health here. Oh, beautiful little duck there, because I knew that kick was coming. I mean, that was beautiful. If I had a little bit of stamina there to throw that hook a bit faster, Jon would have been in big trouble. But unfortunately, I didn't have the stamina to do so. But yeah, you've just got to be real patient, as I was saying. I'm trying to box with Jon, but you can just see it's just spinning elbows after spinning elbows. And Jon goes for the takedown here, which gets denied. So that was a good deny from myself. And it's just a subtle way of showing that, if you're going to try to take me down, I can deny it. And I'm potentially going to look for a takedown of my own, because right now I'm getting a lot of damage to the midsection. I've obviously been stunned pretty hard, and look, there goes that kick again. That's the kick that I'm worried about, and I think that is the main kick that these cheesers will use. Every other attack, although that it is powerful, you can sort of predict, where as that kick you can't do much in terms of being fully out of range or being fully in range, because a kick like that, if someone throws that kick and you're in boxing range, you should be able to throw a hook and it prevents the kick completely and does a lot of damage. However, that kick will still land and potentially even knock you out. It's happened to me so many times. So that kick, like I'm saying, is just extremely, extremely dangerous. Jon went for another takedown there and turned the exact same way and got denied. And right now Jon seems pretty content to just land this kick to the body to try to set the one up to the head. But unfortunately for him, I can pretty much see what he's trying to do. I'm remaining calm, blocking my head. I know that lead leg's hurting. I know that his chin's starting to hurt, but Jon's just got such a strong chin that it's going to take a while to eventually even get a knockdown, because Jon Jones' health stats are just absolutely unreal, as they should be, because he doesn't ever really take too much damage, and we've never seen him really We've seen him hurt, but not to the content that he was going to get finished or anything. But get a big knockdown there, and if we had just a little more time on the clock, could have got the finish there. So that's a great way to finish the round. We've had stuns, and then eventually get the knockdown, jump on top, and definitely could have got John out of there if the clock was on our side. But you can see chaining the elbows here just to break through the block. We get the stun again, go to the leg, and you can see that the weakest areas I said John would be is in terms of the boxing compared to Glover. So I'm boxing him, staying in that boxing range and really working John and the leg health. So I instantly knew the two weakest areas, and I aim to exploit those two weakest areas, and you can see that as of right now it's definitely paying dividends. And John did get the takedown, which, like I said, I'm not worried if John does, because I can get the reversal. And once on top, Glover Teixeira is an absolute monster. Even from the bottom, Glover's really, really good. You can see landing those elbows there, getting to the crucifix, and this is why I was more than content to go to the ground, because you can go to the ground all you want. If I control this position, it's going to be an absolute nightmare for you, and I can easily look to get a finish from here. So you can see elbows doing a lot of damage. Glover stands up and hails down these hooks, and again, that's another cheesy opponent out of here. But for all of you guys that aren't in Division 20, or even the ones that are, this is the harsh reality of playing in Division 20. This is what your games are going to look like. Obviously not every game will look like this, but your vast majority will. You will come up against one of these two players, and yeah, it's not fun. And yeah, hopefully this changes in UFC 5. But thank you. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe if you are new. Should be streaming next week. Like I said, thank you guys for all the support, really appreciate it, and I'll catch you in the next video. Peace.